Hey everybody, Thomas here, and so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finishing disassembling an engine I started disassembling in a previous video, and hopefully today we're going to see what the overall cause of its end of its life was. And yeah, let's get right into it. Make sure you subscribe as well. Okay, so here we are with the engine. We're going to take off the knock sensor, the EGR or possibly PCV system. I'm not 100% sure what that is yet. We're going to take off the oil filter housing and like the oil pressure sensor switch. And then on the bottom of the engine, we're also going to take off this shield here. And then, 1 second. We'll take off the bed plate for the crankshaft. We're going to take out the pistons, and then we'll take off the oil pump. And then hopefully once all that stuff's off, we'll be able to find what the cause of the issue is, because all this metal dust isn't supposed to be in the engine, and the block will be completely stripped down to just the block. So then we can decide what we're going to do with it or whatnot. Alrighty, so let's get started with it. Alrighty, so for these bolts, it's an 8mm or 5/16, so we'll take those off first. There we go, this comes off, and it's not particularly interesting. There is a bit of oil in there, and you can see there's some metal dust. But aside from that, not really too much, so we'll just put this to the side for now. And then the rest of the bolts on this are 10mm, so we'll take those off next. So we'll start with the knock sensor. There we go, comes right off. Yeah, it's just a knock sensor. Nothing too interesting about it. I have no idea if it's still good or not, but we'll put it off to the side. Next, we'll take this bracket off real quick. Or not, it's been a while, so we'll just put it off to the side, you know. Next, we'll take off the oil filter housing. This is going to be kind of interesting anyways. There it is. Oil filter housing is off. So yeah, so let's take a look at this. So you can see in here we got this is where the oil filter attaches. It goes on threads on here, and then you can see how the oil would kind of travel. So there would be some in here and some over here, and the oil would go. Anyways, basically the oil would flow through here and would go into the engine, right? Or come from the engine. We have a gasket here for it goes like that, kind of splits it up into, or no, it goes like this, sorry. It goes like this, and you can see there is a bit of metal dust on there, stuff like that, so clearly some of the contamination made it in here. You can see some on here as well. That's really bad. It's all crusty. And there's not too much inside the actual well, there's a fair bit inside the actual passages, but anyways, we'll just put this off to the side for now. I'll put the bolts inside just to just to hold it. And yeah, that's that. So next, what I can do is I'm just going to thread these bolts out because they're just in there, not even hand tight, and take off this shield from the back of the crank here. There we go. This looks like it's some sort of rear seal or something, like a rear main or something like that. You can see there's a big seal in there. So yeah, so I suspect that this is the rear main seal. And so yeah, so we'll just put this off to the side as well. And now we'll flip it over here. And we'll start disassembling the bottom. Alrighty, so here we are ready to disassemble we're gonna take the bed plate off the crankshaft. So we're gonna start loosening this guy a bit, kind of already loose. We'll loosen this one. We'll start loosening this one. This one's tight, loosen it. Alrighty, here we are. So all three of the bolts that were holding this thing in are out. I'll put them off to the side. And next, we should be able to just lift this bed plate off carefully. So let's see here. So should come off anyways. Somehow. I'll make it. May need to give it a little bit of a little pop or something to get it off there. It seems quite stuck. So there we go. So it just needed a little bit of persuasion. Just comes right off now. So let me see here. There we go. Look at this thing. This thing's pretty industrial. Let's have a look. You can see here, if you look closely at the bearings, especially this one's really bad. They're scored up. See, scored, all right in the center there. So yeah, so clearly the material's been getting in there. So yeah, that metal dust has kind of went and ruined all the bearings and stuff like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if the crankshaft surfaces are also damaged. Let's see here. So yeah, so you can, oh yeah, see? I don't know if you can really see that too well, but you zoom in on, see on that one and on this one in particular. You can even feel it on this one, but the surfaces are scored right up. So yeah, so that's really bad. That's not too good. I mean, they can probably be resurfaced and repaired, but yeah, they are scored up. So yeah, so next, I don't have the proper E-torque socket to remove the pistons, so I'm just gonna try and pull the whole thing, see if it works. Now here, one sec. Looks like we have to remove the oil pump in order to get this thing out. So for the oil pump, let's have a quick look in here. It is 3 long, looks like 10 mil bolts. No, 4 long 10 mil bolts. See, they go through all the way. So we'll pop those off. Just a couple more turns. There we go. You can kind of see what type of pump it is in there. It's a gerotor type pump. Oops. And so yeah, we can disassemble that later. But for now, I'll just put it off to the side. So yeah, so let's pull the rest of this thing out. Oh. Well, there's a slight issue with this. I might have to go get a proper torque socket for this thing because pistons cannot come out of the bottom. So let's see here. Yeah, so the pistons, they can kind of come out, but they can't come all the way out because there's an opening to let them come partially out, but the opening doesn't extend far enough so that they can pull all the way out. So yeah, that's a slight issue. So I'll have to go and get the proper torque socket to finish removing them. And yeah, so I guess that's gonna be it for now. So until I get to go and get the proper torque socket. So yeah, so I think that's it for now. Alrighty, so here we are. We're gonna take these pistons out now. It's four pistons. They are an E12, and we're gonna go ahead and remove those. This should just, yes, here it comes. This guy out. Here we go. There it is. They are out. Oh yeah, okay, so you can see, I don't know, something went wrong with these pistons. Look at this. I don't know if you can really see it, but oh man, that's real bad. Deep scoring right there. Deep scoring on these journals. You can see in the, look in the bearing there. Look at that, the deep scoring. You can feel that with your, like, that is deep. That's seriously deep. Looks like it kind of got, oh, that is bad. Yeah, that's really bad right in there. Anyways, we shall take this out. Yeah, that is bad scoring. Bad scoring on 1, 2, looks like on 3 of these pistons. The rest, the other one's not as horrible. So now, let's see if we can get these pistons out of here. Either by, well, looks like I'm gonna have to, well, we might be able to get it. Maybe not. What will we do about this? Let's try and push them back in for now. What's up, everyone? So today I'm going to be just kind of going through in my opinion, what I think happened to this engine so that it ended up with all this metallic dusting. This is just my personal thoughts on it based on research and knowledge that I have. So yeah, so let's get started. I think we're going to want to look kind of at the evidence here. So here are the main bearings, or well, not the main bearings, the rod journal bearings from the engine. So this is one of the pistons. So there's the one part. See those dark lines and stuff? That's all very heavy scoring. Like really right in there, heavy scoring. Same on the other side here, heavy scoring. This one is what I would consider to be the most damaged. We got other ones over here, like this one. This one's also pretty bad. You can see significant scoring in there and a lot of kind of shine and polish. That's generally from lack of lubrication. This one is what I consider to be one of the better ones. Got only a little bit of scoring and not a significant amount of damage. So yeah, that's part of it. Also, if we look at the main bearings, the reason I think this is more a cause from the rod journals is because look at these. These are the main bearings. Oops. And look at how clean they are. There's not very much damage on them at all. Very little. Like even on this one, it has a bit of scoring, but not a significant amount. Here's the rest of the bearings. So this is one of the other bearings, one of the other main bearings, and it still looks okay. Like there's a bit of metal in there, but it's not really that bad. Another one, this is number 4, I believe. Again, not that bad. Here's the thrust bearing. This is number 3 right in the middle. And this is a little damaged, and a little damage here, but I suspect that's not a super huge issue. Or maybe it is, I don't know. Anyways, it's also not that bad. Badly worn, so that's why I'm thinking it's more of the rod bearing. Now, what happened to the rod bearings? So, what happened? So as you can see here, you can look at the damage again. This is another connecting or piston. This is the same one that I showed before. But you can look at the damage, so see there's some significant scoring in there. The damage and marks you see around the outside are fatigue damage caused by lack of lubrication. There's also a lot of, see all that, all this other damage. And you can see from the inside there. This damage is usually caused by lack of lubrication and or contamination in the engine. So my personal thoughts on what caused this is the person who had this engine didn't really do their oil changes very frequently, and so the oil got really dirty, really well used. The filter got clogged, and so metal fragments and stuff from normal engine wear, just like little tiny metal dust and stuff, started going straight back into the engine, which started to cause more excessive wear as it got caught in between places where it's not supposed to. Like, see this deep scoring line right around here, there we go, would have been caused by a more significant chunk of metal or whatever getting caught in the bearing and then going around and around and scoring like crazy, which I think is where that would have came. So yeah, so I'd say it either due to lack of lubrication, so they kind of drove it for a really long time. They didn't do their oil changes. The oil got dirty. The oil started to kind of, burn or go away or whatever. So they started losing lubrication, and metal dust got into the engine from extra wear because they didn't do any oil changes. And then eventually it just kind of got to a point where it was like, it just ruined the whole engine, basically. That's what I personally think. It's either lack of lubrication, or there are some other possible issues. Could have been like contamination of like the engine, like say somebody put sand in it or something. There's a few other things that it could have been, but mainly what I think it was lack of lubrication, and eventually it either got too bad or they started it without oil by accident once, and and that just totally ruined it. So yeah, so that's what I think it is. If you have any other suggestions for what it might be, please leave a comment or something. Make sure you share the video, and yeah.